Okay, let's just dive right into this. August 24th. It's arguably one of the absolute greatest dates in the entire history of math. And today, we're going to see exactly why.
Because on this one single date, stretching across completely different centuries in totally different countries, some seriously brilliant minds solved puzzles that gave us the incredible technology we use every single day. So let's meet them one by one. First off, have you ever actually wondered how scientists know exactly how far away the stars are? I mean, without using a giant ruler. We obviously can't just stretch a measuring tape into space, so how in the world do we figure out the distances to things like supernovas and distant planets?
Well, the answer takes us all the way back to August 24th, 1595, and a super observant English mathematician named Thomas Digges.
He showed us how to use angles, specifically a concept called parallax, to measure the position of a newly discovered star. In doing that, he realized that our Earth is actually moving and that the universe stretches out infinitely. And what's wild is that today, our satellites and GPS systems use this exact same kind of geometry to navigate the vastness of space.
It really highlights this beautiful truth. Every single time you look up at the night sky, you aren't just looking at stars, you're looking into this giant, infinite mathematical puzzle.
Now, we're still on August 24th, but let's jump back just a few decades to 1561. We're in a completely different part of Europe and looking at an even bigger idea. Think about this for a second. When you're playing your favorite 3D video game, how does the computer instantly calculate all those perfect angles and slopes to render such a realistic world?
For that magic, we can thank a Polish mathematician named Bartholomeo Pitiscus, and he was born on, you guessed it, August 24th, 1561.
This guy literally invented the word trigonometry. Yeah, the actual word. It is the very math of measuring triangles and angles that allows our computers and smartphones to even understand 3D space today. His absolute monumental achievement was computing these massive, incredibly accurate tables of angles. He did this so that anyone could solve complex geometric problems without just guessing. Literally every digital 3D space we navigate relies entirely on the math he named and organized. So the crucial takeaway here is that every perfectly angled building and every single 3D video game world you explore is built right on the foundation of trigonometry. Okay, same date, but now we're going to jump nearly 300 years into the future to tackle an entirely different kind of challenge. You know when your phone gets super hot in your hands after watching videos for too long? Or have you ever wondered how a car engine actually turns heat into physical motion? Well, the physics behind that heat brings us right back to August 24th, 1888, and the legacy of a pioneering physicist and mathematician named Rudolf Clausius. He introduced us to this absolute mind-blowing concept called entropy. Basically, he showed the world that in any system, energy naturally just spreads out and becomes totally chaotic over time. Clausius actually wrote the basic equations connecting heat, energy, and work. He basically established the core laws of thermodynamics, and because he cracked the math linking those elements, we're now able to engineer everything from massive modern power grids right down to the tiny batteries sitting in our pockets.
His most famous realization is honestly both poetic and so true. The energy of the world is constant, but its chaos, its entropy is always increasing.
It's crazy, right? One gate, so many stories. But we have one final stop on August 24th, right at the dawn of the 20th century. Think back to before digital microchips existed. If you didn't have a calculator or a smartphone, how could you instantly multiply huge numbers or find square roots without having to do the whole thing out by hand? Well, the solution was born on August 24th, 1901, with an ingenious inventor named Semyon Gershgorin. This guy designed these incredible physical machines with actual moving parts and linkages. They could literally calculate complex arithmetic just by turning and shifting. He proved to everyone that we could build analog computers way before digital microchips were ever even a thing. And what this brilliantly illustrates is that you don't just write math on a piece of paper, you can actually build physical machines that move and operate entirely by the rules of math. So look at every person we've met in this explainer today. Across completely different centuries, totally different countries, they all basically ask the exact same question. What is the pattern hiding inside the chaos? Because they bothered to ask that question, our world actually makes mathematical sense today. So the next time you look at your calendar and see August 24th